Hello there, my name is Richard. I'd like to talk about animation. Today we're talking about Helluva Season 2, Episode 3. And this episode sort of slowly kind of made it more comedy, made it more serious. In fact, this episode focuses about Moxie, like the reason why he's sort of very neat, very calm and calculated, very well spoken. And this episode sort of explore how he's like that. In fact, you find out later on in this episode, the Hella Boss organization got a call about this mobster to meet with them to sort of make a deal of when it hits in the underworld. But Foxy trying to explain that they don't do that kind of thing. They don't eliminate people of the outside the Hell universe. But this was sort of interesting because you kind of see how Moxie sort of reacts because he was noticing he was sort of his hometown, but he never wasn't clicking. But you notice his sort of reaction, his sort of fear, the reason he didn't want to be here. You find out the client they're about to see was his father. And this is sort of an interesting thing because the very beginning was sort of slapstick, more cartoony, but it went to the really dark place that didn't need to be sort of explained. Because I love it when this show doesn't really talk, it just shows you. And the reaction of Moxie, how he reacted when he sees the father, he understanding how he is sort of polite, why he's so well with the handguns, understand weapons, understand tactical, is because his father is sort of a gangster. Not the gangster, the one who rules of his own sector. But even that, he kept this sort of secret with his own wife and co-workers because he didn't want to talk about it. You don't know why. Till later on they explain, well, he was sort of mistreated. He wasn't having a good childhood, especially a relationship with his father, who is basically a scumbag like every other character of the series. But this one goes very specifically what type of scumbag he really is. He doesn't get what he wants. He sort of snaps. It hurts people, specifically Moxie and Moxie's mother. That you really don't get to know her that much. You know her mom loved her son, but she didn't care about the husband. But you can see, not even single words, it's sort of how she felt about her husband while saying a single word. Even her expression that you don't see it at all. You just see her hands, her legs moving specifically away from Moxie's father. And you're understanding that sort of abusement. You're understanding how Moxie felt, how his father belittles him, trying him to train as a murderer as him to join inside the organization of the mob universe. But I love it, he sort of goes even deeper. The reason why he just left this place is because his ex-boyfriend, who actually did it, Max's wife before that nobody knows. He's that sort of type of character who is a Chad. In fact, that's his name, a Chad, who sort of scammed Moxie's father to bring Moxie and his crew so he can marry and marry in the family so he can have more power, more money. But interesting enough, this for actually a second interesting reason is the fact Moxie's father wants this power. He needs money. It seems to me he wants to see his son to marry him so he can have more power because it seems he needs more money. We don't get the context, but it feels more like they're running out of cash, like he's losing control because Moxie points out his father has sort of kind of a need to have control. He doesn't have control, he freaks out. It becomes very violent and dangerous. Specifically, they show you what happened to Moxie's mother, that she didn't listen to his husband's, Moxie's father. And, well, unfortunately, she died because she disobeyed him. But a little bit, it's sort of kind of like you understand Moxie, how he's sort of calm, collective. It just sort of makes so much sense why he has this sort of very kind of trying not to get everything in control because he has sort of a similar personality to his father, but at the same time more understanding why he has this sort of control, this sort of necessary understanding to have everything a certain way. But a little bit also explains how Moxie met Blitz. Yes, sort of because their ex sort of screwed him over, physically and literally for a heist and left him take the fall. But we don't know, or we sort of understand that Moxie's ex-boyfriend, Chad, did care about him, but at the very end is sort of every person by itself sort of situation, especially sort of the mob sort of kind of dilemma. But let me sort of go deep, more interesting in how they met and the reason why Moxie sort of follow Blitz. Like, he wants someone who kind of respects them, understands them, but at the same time, you understand Blitz has issues, but he actually can work with Blitz. Not how Moxie cannot work his father because he can't make a mistake, he can't disobey, and Moxie can do that with Blitz. Blitz. But I love it even more. You understand how his life really is, how he sort of acts in modern time. Yeah, I thought that's sort of interesting, especially all the gore and strange things happening in the mob, especially how his father, Moxie's father, is sort of okay. He being a bi, but at the same time he doesn't really care. He just want him there. It's just sort of a very interesting sort of take. Someone who wants your own son to be right next to you so you can use him, even accepting him to being certain bi. That's sort of kind of interesting, but at the same time being sort of a double negative. Like, he doesn't really care. He just wants the thing done. Because once more, we don't know how much in debt Moxie's father really is, or how much trouble he really is. The reason why he kind of forces him to marry another person who actually is rich. But I have to admit, Chad, the ex-boyfriend of Moxie and Millie, was a sort of an interesting character, especially his that sort of kind of shark design. He's sort of slimy. In fact, the first time you meet him, he is sort of gooish, kind of like the green lighting type of thing that you kind of emphasize how untrustworthy he really is. Even if you don't know who he is, you just heard a couple of times at the beginning of the episode before you actually knew it. It was sort of delivered so well, especially how sexual, sort of slimy, how he want to use others. He only cares about himself, but not showing he was lying, telling the truth. Yeah, I enjoyed that sort of vibe. It was a really good one-off character because you know what happened to the very end of the episode? Well, Moxie's father realized he would be used, and the whole series makes this point: Moxie's father never been used. If he does, you get, well, live in the fishes, in other words, ironically. But besides that, that was sort of interesting, a good dive how Moxie met Blitz, how he met his father, how everything sort of went down, in other words. And all of that, I can't say much. I really enjoy. Of course, I was sort of surprised when sort of cartoony at the very beginning to went darker and darker, especially what you see Moxie did to a certain body that we don't know who he left down in the ocean. Could be someone, could be random, or her mother that he didn't realize he pushed there just to make it hit worse to Moxie. But once again, it was sort of an interesting sort of dilemma. I don't know you, I really enjoyed this episode. Tell me down below how you felt about this. You like it, you hate it, tell me down below, let me know. I got nothing else to say, just thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and have a wonderful day. Bye.